Well, we just heard from GOP House Speaker Lisa Demuth. Now we are joined by DFL House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman. Thank you so much for coming on. You heard the Republican House Speaker say it's going to have to go to a special session just to get everything done. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, we're about 5 days ahead of the 2019 schedule, so my hope is that we can be done with that one-day special session before Memorial Day weekend.
All right, and that in 2019 you did have the one-day special session that really was a one-day special session and got everything done.
It was all 24 hours at the clock, but yes, it was just one day.
That's true. All right, let me ask you about the issue that seems to be tearing the DFL apart, and that is insurance for the undocumented. That is a concession that you made. It was a big one. And the result was a protest outside of the governor's reception room while you were holding a news conference with Speaker Demuth and the governor. It was very loud. We've got shots of the protesters. Many of them were actually DFL legislators who were out there in the hallway protesting. Does the DFL have enough votes to get this budget deal through the ranks?
Yeah, you know, it's of course a lot easier in the House than in the Senate because, as Leader Demuth discussed, we each have 67 members. Only 34 of each of our members have to vote for any bill to get it passed through the Minnesota House. But in the Minnesota Senate, every single DFL senator has to stick together. So it's harder there because, you know, well, Representative Demuth and I can have unhappy members in our caucus. Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy has to have every single one of her votes to get these bills through.
Well, you've done, and so has Leader Demuth, a pretty masterful job of keeping your caucus together. 67 votes over a few sessions now. Are you going to have the votes to pass this?
Yeah, and I think, you know, speaking to the compromise, it was a demand by the GOP to settle the budget. We fought really hard. We were in a room about 12 hours a day together from about April 30th through May 14th with Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy and Governor Walz and me fighting really hard to preserve this health care. These are people who live in Minnesota, they work in Minnesota, they go to church with us, their children go to school with our children. It's a poor population. They pay taxes just like the rest of us. And Minnesota Care for undocumented folks, it's an income related program. So not everybody in the state gets Minnesota Care and not every undocumented person in the state gets Minnesota Care. It's an income-based program. So these are people who don't have a lot of means. They can't go to the private market and buy health insurance because they can't afford to do that. So this will hurt real people, but it was important to resolve the state budget agreement so we can keep the state functioning. And when the Republicans won 67 seats in the election in November, it was clear they would come to the Capitol and they would demand a price for their participation, and this was the price they demanded.
Okay. What was striking is what didn't get eliminated here, and the big thing, and it's coming in January of 2026, is paid sick and safe leave and paid family and medical leave. This is going to affect every worker in the state. This is really big, and you made no concessions there.
It's hugely popular. 80% of the public is really excited about the fact that this is coming, and the reason is, while a lot of white-collar workers have this benefit, or highly compensated people already have this benefit, most workers in the state don't have the ability to take paid time off when somebody in their family has cancer and needs to be taken care of. A lot of Minnesotans, when a member of their family is sick right now, they have to choose between staying at home and taking care of their loved one and not being able to pay their mortgage, or going to work and having their loved one not get the care that they need. But January 1st next year, that all changes, and it's funded just like unemployment insurance. We each pay like a tiny little increment, and it all added up. It's there if you need it. If you don't need it, you're pitching into the system, and if you do need it, it's there for you.
Well, I think it's also going to affect people who are on private care who may not have as good a benefit as the one listed in the state. But what about the infrastructure? I was talking to Leader Demuth before the show, and she said she doesn't think that the state is going to be ready.
It's absolutely going to be ready. We have an award-winning unemployment insurance division. During COVID-19, we were the fastest and best state at getting benefits out to people and getting those stimulus payments out. You might remember in 2020 when Donald Trump was still president and COVID started, there were payments to folks that were distributed through the unemployment insurance system. And the benefits themselves, we have a fantastic system. So it's the same exact people. It's the same exact Department of Government, and they have an excellent track record.
All right, and perhaps the most creative move that I saw, obviously I haven't gone through the things that you have, taking $77 million out of the future spending for the train to Duluth to pay for unemployment insurance for part-time school workers. I mean, that was pretty crafty.
Well, that helped resolve a dispute. Leader Demuth and I think it was a creative solution. Her caucus really wanted a vote on sunsetting unemployment insurance for school hourly workers. We know construction workers and a lot of people who are seasonal workers have unemployment during part of the year, and they work in their field during the other part of the year. But school hourly workers were left out. They're predominantly women, they're predominantly people of color, and it was really important for us to preserve this benefit, but important to Leader Demuth's caucus for us to vote to sunset it. So it was a win for both of us. They got the vote, and we got the benefits preserved for our folks.
Well, Speaker Emerita, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. I know that you both must be exhausted, so thank you very much.
Not as exhausted as we'll be 48 hours from now.
Okay, all right.